Hello everyone, we are here at MTAC Dueling Dragons. I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I'm really excited for today's guest, Justin Cook. Justin, thank you so much.
You're so welcome, man. Happy Easter to you.
Yeah, happy Easter to you as well, and all those that celebrate.
Be nice to bunnies.
Yes, absolutely. How has your convention been?
It's been perfect. Experience? Everybody here is so wonderful and nice. It's been great.
I'm glad that you've had a good time. I'm sure everyone's been excited to meet you. First off, I'm just going to ask one of the most basic questions there is for these type of interviews. What have you been working on that you can share with us?
Anything that's out has been something that I've been working on.
That's true. You are one of the most prodigious people in this industry or any other.
I'm very lucky.
It's like everyone knows you for a handful of roles and a lot of the stuff that you've done. I don't know if anyone has done more line producing on the planet Earth than you have.
Well, guilty as charged.
A friend of mine and I were joking that we just wanted to sit you down and ask you all about line producing and just learn nothing about anime, nothing about Yu Yu Hakusho, none of that. It's just going to be 30 minutes of straight line producing.
We'll bore everyone to tears.
That's right. That's right. We will quickly bring up everyone's hopes and dash them upon the rocks of line production. Anyway. Wanted to start off by asking, what made you first take an interest in acting?
Well, I was a hyperactive kid, and my mom was like, I've had enough of that, and so she installed me, as it were, into acting courses and classes as a pretty young kid in Fort Smith Children's Theater. So I would audition year after year for their spring and their winter productions and not get anything, and so deal with rejection as a 5 and 6 year old, which I learned very young not to care. And then I think finally got cast as Charlie in the best Christmas pageant ever, and playing pretend kind of became a hobby of mine ever since, in one way or another, performing.
I think that's a really interesting path that I don't know that I've heard a lot of folks take, doing auditions that young.
Yeah.
Because this is just such a competitive field to go into. Even relatively successful actors, for every role that you book, there's 10, 20, 50, 100 that you don't.
For sure. Maybe more. Usually more.
Yeah. And
the full-time job is auditioning.
Yes.
Right? The vacation is getting to work.
Yes. And I always like to ask how do they stay motivated in the face of just such relatively bad odds for landing work. It's a lot.
There's a wide net, and that's probably the best advice I could give to any actor, is that there's a lot of different things to act in. Just this weekend, folks have brought up the realities of your indie games. You've got there's so much content that shows up on YouTube at a regular pace. There's industrials, there's commercial work, there's just a ton of stuff that's out there, and so putting parameters up, I think, in any kind of a career or any kind of pathway in your life is a great way to avoid opportunities. And I think the general goal, as it would be for anyone, is to try to maximize the number of opportunities.
Yeah.
So tear down those walls, as Pink Floyd said.
Yeah, and I think between that and just managing your mental health and just learning, as you did from a very young age, to deal with that rejection, I think
that's going to happen
just
a lot.
Big piece. Yeah.
Worst thing that can happen is they say no. That ain't so bad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of worse things.
That is unfortunately very true.
Anime characters often have complex emotions and unique personalities. How do you approach bringing these characters to life through your voice acting, especially when they may differ significantly from your own personality?
Right. Well, my job is ultimately to try to humanize, a two-dimensional thing, and so the only way I know how to do that is to, exactly as you've mentioned, is to identify what are those human qualities, right? I love TV shows that show the flaws in a character as well as the heroic qualities of a character. And so any way to find a way to, again, humanize that is ultimately, that's my job. So but that's how I approach it. I find what is the humanity inside of whatever this fictitious character is, whether it's Yusuke or Super Buu.
On the other end of that spectrum, can you give us an example of a time where you were voice acting a character and you were able to tap into personal experiences that connected you to the character?
Well, I mean, I probably do that all of the time. I mean, I don't necessarily want to share all my personal experiences, right? But this is a way, I suppose, to kind of, we'll find a way to make them useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
As we grow and are engaged in the world around us, what is something that you have learned or have gotten better with in regards to voice acting in the last 5 years?
Gosh, man, I don't know. But for me, the world operates in much larger swaths of time than 5 years.
Sure.
But in the last 20 years, it's all about being patient, I think. That's the general thing. And the other thing, too, is to not don't get hung up on, again, the rejection piece, right? Remember that everything is happening exactly the way it is supposed to be happening.
Who would you say has had the biggest impact on your career?
Oh, man. There's actual impacts, right? Where meeting Chris Sabat and working alongside him for years is certainly a something that's happened. And encountering all the folks that I encounter weekly or regularly, like David Matrango or Bryce Babbenbrook. These folks, they all influence me in one way or the other, for sure, as friends often do.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking for things of who are the folks that kind of guided me on a pathway, as it were, or kind of redirected, I would say, Scatman Carruthers is probably the actor that I most watched. I saw him in The Shining as a kid, and then was recognizing his voices in the many different projects that he voice acted for.
What's the most challenging thing about acting to you?
Letting someone else be in the driver's seat.
I think that's hard for a lot of us in many areas of life.
Sure,
that's super relatable.
That's the deal with an actor is let the director drive.
There you go. What are some of your interests outside of acting?
Oh man, what is it? I've got music, television, anything entertainment-based, pop culture-based. I'm really into kind of researching and looking back into that. I'm a big history guy as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. I like that there's just a lot going on. There's, I believe the term is Renaissance man. A man of many interests.
I don't know about that. Lucky to be here. That's the biggest thing to remind myself.
I wanted to ask about the line producing and going from voice acting someone like Yusuke or whatever, and then going immediately to let me work on the production side of things, working on movies like Broly or Evangelion or any of those. How does that differ from voice acting? And did a lot of the
No, I usually save up the acting stuff if that kind of an opportunity has occurred or presented itself to me. Then I'll find a way to kind of insert that into the world outside of the day job, as it were.
Nice.
Yeah, they happen at separate times.
Nice. Okay.
Fans of anime are often deeply passionate and invested in the characters they love. How do you navigate the relationship between yourself as a voice actor and the fan base, especially when there are differing interpretations or expectations for your character?
Well, yeah. No, I think the important thing, fans have their interpretations, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's their interpretation, and I've got no business trying to change that interpretation, right? I'm kind of the singer's about the song, not the singer, right? Or right? It's about what's the saying? It's not about the singer, it's about the song, right? So that's kind of how I play that, right? So if someone's got a lot of passion and they're angry about something, or maybe they're super excited about something. Again, I'm just the vessel, right?
The conduit.
I'm just the ship. Yeah. So I've got no hang up. I don't need to correct them if that my opinion may be different, or that my approach to it was different than maybe they took it. But as long as they're finding their happiness within that, then I think that's wonderful. And if anybody's angry, I always do my best to try to bring that down.
I love that.
That's the sound of bringing it down, by the way.
You guys good?
Yeah.
I think we're... Yeah.
Justin, I think we've got all our questions in there. But thank you so much for taking the time. It has been a big pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Pleasure's been all mine. You guys are great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to yet another production of the OSMcast, your podcast for everything awesome. You can find us online at awesomecast.com, OSMcast.com, or, wherever you find your podcast, just search for OSMcast. You can also find us on the social medias, OSMcast at Twitter or on Facebook. Of course, you can also find our wonderful interview guru, the greatest living interviewer, John Robbins, at J5isLive. Or perhaps you'd like to follow our amazing editor, Anna, at Angel Darkfire, or just me, at It's Basil Time on Twitter. Our theme song is produced by DJ Inabito, and you can find him online at djinabito.com. And once again, thanks for listening to the OSMcast. We appreciate you.